The gym lights flickered, casting jagged shadows on the polished floor where Mia stood, her prom dress in tatters, the laughter of her bullies ringing in her ears. She clutched the torn fabric, her face burning with shame, but something inside her snapped, a spark of defiance that had been buried for too long. The crowd's jeers grew louder, led by Jake and his crew, their smug faces daring her to crumble. Mia's heart pounded, her fists clenched, and in that moment, she made a choice that would silence them all. Mia Thompson was 16, a junior at Westview High, known for her quiet demeanor and oversized hoodies that hid her slight frame. She wasn't invisible, but she wished she could be. Her days were spent dodging the sharp tongues of Jake Miller and his friends, Ethan and Tyler, the kind of boys who thrived on making others feel small. They ruled the school's social hierarchy with cruel pranks and cutting remarks, and Mia was their favorite target. She'd learned to keep her head down, her sketchbook her only refuge, filled with drawings of places she dreamed of escaping to. But prom season changed everything. The prom buzz had swept through Westview like wildfire. Posters lined the halls, and girls whispered about dresses and dates. Mia didn't care much for it, she'd rather stay home with her paints than face a night of forced smiles. But when her best friend, Sarah, begged her to go, Mia relented. Sarah was the opposite of Mia. Bold, bubbly, and fiercely loyal. "You deserve to shine, Mia," Sarah said, dragging her to a thrift store where they found a soft lavender dress that made Mia feel, for once, like she belonged. It was simple, with a flowing skirt and delicate straps, but when Mia twirled in the mirror, she saw a version of herself she barely recognized. She let herself hope, just for a moment, that prom could be different. The trouble started in English class. Jake, lounging at the back with his sneakers propped on a desk, overheard Sarah teasing Mia about prom. "Who'd ask you, Thompson?" he sneered, loud enough for the room to hear. "You'd trip over your own feet before the first dance." Ethan and Tyler snickered, and Mia's cheeks flushed as she sank lower in her seat. She told herself it didn't matter, but the word stung. Later that day, in the cafeteria, Jake took it further. He sauntered over to Mia's table, a mocking grin on his face, and asked her to prom in front of half the junior class. It was a setup, and everyone knew it. Mia's voice barely rose above a whisper as she said, "No, thanks." The room erupted in laughter, Jake's face twisting with mock hurt. "Your loss, freak," he spat, but his eyes gleamed with something darker. From then on, Jake's taunts grew sharper. He'd bump into her in the halls, knocking her books to the floor. Ethan would whisper, "Prom reject," as she passed, and Tyler left crude notes in her locker. Mia tried to ignore them, but each jab chipped away at her. Sarah urged her to tell a teacher, but Mia refused. "It'll only make it worse," she said, her voice trembling. She didn't want to be the girl who snitched, she just wanted to survive until graduation. But the bullies weren't done with her, and the gym would soon become their stage. Mia's one escape was her secret. Every Saturday, she slipped away to a small martial arts dojo on the edge of town, a place her dad had enrolled her in years ago before he passed away. He'd told her, "Strength isn't just in your arms, Mia, it's in your heart." The dojo was her sanctuary, where she practiced taekwondo under Master Kim, a stern but kind man who saw her potential. Mia was no prodigy, but she was disciplined, her kicks precise and her focus unbreakable. She'd earned her black belt last summer, though she never told anyone at school. It was her private armor, a quiet confidence she carried but rarely showed. Prom night loomed closer, and Mia's nerves frayed. She almost backed out, but Sarah's excitement was infectious. "We're going to have the best night ever," Sarah promised, helping Mia curl her hair and slip into the lavender dress. At the gym, transformed with twinkling lights and a pulsing DJ, Mia felt a flicker of joy. She and Sarah danced, laughing as they spun each other around. For a few hours, Mia forgot about Jake, forgot about the whispers. But as the night wound down, Jake and his crew appeared, their eyes locked on her. It happened fast. Mia was near the punch table when Jake approached, his breath sour with cheap alcohol. "Nice dress, Thompson," he said, his voice dripping with sarcasm. "Too bad it's wasted on you." Before she could move, Ethan grabbed the hem of her skirt and yanked. The fabric tore with a sickening rip, exposing her legs as the crowd gasped. Tyler joined in, tugging at the straps until they snapped. Mia stumbled, clutching the ruined dress, her vision blurring with tears. The gym seemed to spin, the laughter deafening. Jake leaned in, his voice low and cruel. "Should have said yes to me, freak." Time slowed. Mia's heart thundered, her dad's words echoing in her mind, "Strength is in your heart." She thought of every insult, every shove, every moment she'd stayed silent. Something inside her roared to life. She straightened, her hands balling into fists, and met Jake's gaze. "Back off," she said, her voice steady despite the tremor in her chest. Jake laughed, stepping closer, but Mia was done running. She moved before she could think, her body falling into the muscle memory of years at the dojo. Her leg snapped up in a perfect spinning kick, her foot connecting with Jake's chest. He staggered back, crashing into a table, his eyes wide with shock. The gym fell silent, the music still thumping but the crowd frozen. Ethan lunged at her, but Mia pivoted, blocking his arm and delivering a swift side kick that sent him sprawling. Tyler hesitated, then backed away, his bravado gone. Mia stood tall, her torn dress hanging like a battle flag, her breath steady now. The silence broke with a cheer from Sarah, then another, until the gym erupted in applause. Not everyone clapped, some stared, stunned, but Mia felt the shift. Jake scrambled to his feet, his face red with fury, but the principal, Mr. Carter, pushed through the crowd. "Enough," he barked, his eyes darting between Mia and the boys. Jake tried to spin a lie, but the crowd's murmurs and a few phone videos told the truth. Mr. Carter sent the bullies to the office, promising consequences. Mia's legs shook as the adrenaline faded. Sarah rushed to her, wrapping her in a jacket to cover the torn dress. "You were incredible," Sarah whispered, tears in her eyes. Mia didn't feel incredible, she felt raw, exposed, but also free. For the first time, she hadn't let them win. The principal pulled her aside later, his tone gentle. "Why didn't you tell anyone they were harassing you?" he asked. Mia shrugged, her voice soft. "I thought I could handle it." Mr. Carter nodded, promising to address the bullying culture at Westview. "You're stronger than you know, Mia," he said. The next week was a blur. Jake, Ethan, and Tyler faced suspension, and the school launched an anti-bullying campaign. Mia's kick became legend, whispered in the halls, but she didn't care for the spotlight. Some kids gave her nods of respect, others avoided her eyes. She kept going to the dojo, her kicks sharper now, fueled by a new confidence. Sarah helped her repair the dress, stitching it with gold thread to make the tears part of its story. "It's like you," Sarah said. "Beautiful, even with the scars." Mia still sketched her dream worlds, but now she drew herself in them, standing tall, unafraid. She wasn't naive, she knew bullies didn't vanish overnight, and some wounds would linger. But she'd faced her worst fear and fought back. One evening, at the dojo, Master Kim watched her practice, a rare smile on his face. "You found your strength," he said. Mia nodded, her dad's words echoing again. She wasn't just surviving anymore, she was living. The story of Mia's kick spread beyond Westview, inspiring others to stand up, to speak out. She didn't see herself as a hero, but she hoped her choice that night might light a spark in someone else. As she walked through the school halls, head high, she carried a quiet truth: no one could take your power unless you let them. And Mia Thompson was done giving hers away.